Welcome back. Joining me is Jay and Melissa Duffer from Huntington University Department of Theater. Thank you both for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
You both teach theater at the Huntington. And how long have you been there?
We moved here in August of 2008.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you, where were you before that?
Well, we moved here from New York City.
You moved from New York City.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you actually have you had quite a long career as actors, performers in New York City. Tell us a little bit about, Jay, about your background first.
I got my graduate degree from University of Nevada, Las Vegas, which we have in common.
Yes.
And then shortly after that, began to go to New York and audition, and then eventually moved there and started working in and out of the city. Spent a lot of time doing regional work, and then I would say around the year 2000, 2001, started getting involved in writing and also in directing, and continuing working as an actor as well. So have done everything from off-Broadway to regional to some overseas things. So
oh my gosh.
I felt quite blessed to have, you know, a fairly good career doing it, not going hungry as an actor.
Yeah, that's part of the battle, I know.
Yeah.
And you are also quite prolific in New York City, Melissa. Tell us about some of the
things. Yes, fortunately, very fortunately. I moved to New York just after graduating from college. I attended the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. And
excellent program.
It was great. It was a great way for me to move to New York and really learn how to get out there and audition and just be ready to perform. And so I pretty quickly after finishing that program started working mainly as a dancer, and I've worked just very much like Jay in regional theaters all over the country. We actually did the overseas gig together and did a little film and TV here and there. So
oh my
it's
gosh.
been a very
How many years
wonderful.
Total were you guys in New York, do you think?
About 15 or so, I think.
And
total.
what made you come to Huntington University?
I had actually been asked by my predecessor to come out and guest direct a production of A Glass Menagerie in 2007. So I came out here and worked with the students. I was here for about 6 weeks on a guest artist contract, and I enjoyed it. I really got to know the students. They were wonderful. I liked the atmosphere. Of course, he was a colleague of mine, so I knew he was a good teacher, and I was thrilled to be there and spend time with him and his wife. Yeah. And so I just had a really positive experience. He left at the end of May of 2008, and they called me and said, you know the students, would you come out and at least do a one-year visiting artist contract? And so it stuck, and they liked me, and we stayed.
Well, as professionals, and really of the highest order. I mean, that's not easy to survive in New York as theater people.
Right.
And you know, what is it that you impart upon students at Huntington from a professional perspective?
Well, I think that we certainly are able to bring real-world experience to them, which for us in any of our study through undergrad and postgraduate work, that has been some of the most valuable experience, not only learning how to prepare a song or how to do a monologue, but knowing how do I go to that audition, what do I need to do when I walk in the door, what does my resume need to look like, and just being able to impart all of that to the students, I think, has given them hopefully an edge that maybe they wouldn't get somewhere else.
I also feel too, a lot, because I did this, I had to learn the hard way. A lot of young actors that go and start trying to get work in this marketplace need to have a good idea of their strengths. And I think sometimes we waste a lot of time trying to figure out who we are in those early years. And there's an advantage to that, but there's also an advantage to really zoning in on knowing exactly what you're perfect for.
And what kind of character you are.
Absolutely, and what you can play and what's within your realm. And once you know that and you click into that, then you don't waste so much time going here, going here, going there. Right. You can really zone in on what you know people are going to see you as marketable, what the skills are.
That's so true. I mean, not everybody's a leading man and a leading woman, and you need to be honest with your students about that.
Sure.
And you know, even though most actors, I think you would need to stay in really, really good shape. They need to stay buff and lift weights and things. don't do that.
Right.
You know, because some people are better just
Yes.
not like that.
Right.
But you know, Huntington University is a Christian university,
Yes.
and how do those values permeate the theater program?
Well, I tell my students, I'm not teaching you any different technically than you would get at a state training school or a state school or anything like that. But it's how we relate to one another. I like to think that we are compassionate with our students, supportive, understanding, and I see amongst my students, they also, if we emulate that, they also pick up on those attributes. Quite honestly, I have yet to be there and the casting notice goes up, and there's all this bickering and jealousy, and if they feel it, of course, they're human, but it doesn't come out, and I think that's where we're different. It's displayed a little differently. There's support, there's encouragement, these kind of things that we feel that Christ has set an example for us. These are the kind of things that we feel our students are emulating, and that's what we try to achieve in the department. But we are still going to try to have a lot of versatility in our programming. We're still going to try to tackle real tough world subjects and not shy away from those things.
Is Huntington a denominational? Is there a particular?
It is. It's United Brethren.
United Brethren, okay. What are the advantages to going, do you think, to a faith-based university in the arts, and also a university the size of Huntington? Or either one of you can answer.
Well, I think certainly with the size, obviously there's the advantage of having the personal attention, even within the theater department. Because we are smaller, students don't necessarily have to wait until they are juniors or seniors to get the good roles on stage. So a lot of times that can happen earlier on. I feel that the performers can get a lot more stage experience.
Sure.
And then certainly with the Christian aspect, they feel that they can have both there, and one doesn't have to take a back seat to the other.
I see some good work coming out of there. Coming up, you're working on the Medea. When does that open?
That opens February 23rd.
Tell us a little bit about that play and what you're going to be doing with it.
It's the classic Greek play by Euripides. And we have not done tragedy on our stage in, I think, almost 8 to 10 years.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose, right. Well, classic tragedy, either, Shakespeare. There's always drama. I mean, we're a drama department. But I just was looking as we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to do a language-based play, a classic play. And we had done Antigone before in Huntington's history. And so Medea was just a story. I've always been fascinated with it. In fact, as a child, I had a book of Jason and the Argonauts, the story of Jason and the Argonauts. And the illustrator in that book, I still have vivid memories of the artwork of that book. And the story just captured my attention as a child.
Yeah, and it's a classic.
It is.
It's about, tell us a little bit of the background.
Well, it's a dark story.
Yeah.
It's certainly a tale of passion and jealousy and the darkest kind of revenge that you can imagine. Medea is scorned by her husband, who wants to trade her in, I guess, for a younger, more beautiful, and also more politically favorable kind of situation he wants to move into. So he's basically discarding her. And if you know anything about the Greek mythology, she has done a lot of things for him up to this point. And so she feels quite scorned about this, and the best way for her to get revenge is to kill his sons.
Well, it sounds like indeed a tragedy.
Yes.
Melissa, you also run the gallery at Huntington.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about that.
That was a position that I started just over a year ago. This is my second year in the position, and I've loved the art department and all the professors there, and it just became a fit for me to work with them with the art gallery. And so we bring in a variety of professional artists to show a lot of different styles, and then we also have student shows and faculty shows. We do a high school show that's actually coming up in the spring as well. So a variety of shows, opportunities for the students not only to see what professional artists are doing out there, but also chances for them to exhibit their work too.
How many shows a year do you do, and productions do you do a year?
In the theater department, we have two seasons, basically. A main stage season, which we will do 4 shows, 2 in the fall, 2 in the spring. And then we have what we call our lab season, which is more student-derived work, student-directed work, the smaller shows, senior showcases, things like that. And those shows can be 2 a semester or 1 a semester.
I see. And what kind of facilities do you have? You have 1 theater, 2 theaters?
We have two theater spaces. Our main stage, which is Zerker, which is upstairs. It's the large space, and then we have a studio theater, a black box.
Okay. And you're ending the year with The Foreigner,
Yes.
which is a hilarious
Yes.
play.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. When does that open?
That opens in April.
April sometime.
I'm not quite sure of the
always
dates. Yeah. I just finished the Christmas show, so now we're on to the next tunnel vision there. But that, of course, is Larry Shue's Obie Award-winning show. It's
super
just
funny.
hilarious. We're excited about that one. We're bringing in a guest director from New York City for that one.
Oh, what a great opportunity for the students to work with. They better be on their toes.
That's right.
And it's how I was introduced to the university, so I wanted to keep doing that. We will bring in guest artists.
Well, I hear great things about Huntington University and the job that both of you are doing down there. So,
thank you.
Welcome to the community, and we hope to have you on Arts Weekly again.
Thank you.
We'd be
Thank you very
delighted.
much.
Okay. For more information about upcoming productions at Huntington University, visit them online at huntington.edu, or for tickets, call their box office at 359-4261. Arts Weekly airs every week, Tuesday through Thursday on College Access Television, and most Sundays on WFWA PBS 39. You could also see us on YouTube and Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. I'm Chuck O'Connor. Thanks for tuning in to Arts Weekly. Join me next week with Scott Humphreys and Deborah Lynn from Manchester College and Sam Burke from IPFW's Mobile EDU.